Hey, hello and welcome to today's GFG problem of the day. Hope you're doing well. So let's get to this problem. Sort zeros, ones, and twos. Okay. So what the problem is saying is we'll be given an array containing zeros, ones, and twos. We want to sort the array in ascending order. Okay. So simple. So as the problem is saying is we'll be given an array which will contain only zeros, ones, and twos. Okay. So you simply need to sort the array. Now, now what can be the easiest solution, right? Just to use any inbuilt sort function, right? And just sort the array. Okay. But that will give you what? That will give you time complexity of O of n log n. Okay. Can we solve this problem with better time complexity? For example, with O of n, is it possible? So let's quickly see. So this problem is also called Dutch nations problem. Okay. Dutch nation problem. So what we are going to do is we'll use the pointer technique basically to solve this problem. Okay. We'll use three pointers. Okay. So one will be I pointer, which will keep track of the zero elements. Okay. One will be J pointer, which will keep track of one element, the element one. Okay. And one will be K pointer, which will keep track of the two element, basically, which will keep track of two. Okay. Now, why we are starting ij from start and k at end? We are starting k at end because we want two at the end, right? Two at the end. At the end, what we want to do? We want to sort the array in ascending order. So two, which is a greater element, needs to be at the end of the array. And I I basically is to keep track of zero elements and which needs to be like at the start of the array, right? And J will be like to iterate this complete array. Okay, it will be to iterate this complete array and it will keep track of the element one. Okay, so let's see how it works. Okay, let's see how it is going to work. Okay, now we have these three pointers in place. Now we will check what is array of j. It is zero. Okay, that means we need to for example, if we encounter array of j as zero, we are going to swap the element at I position with the element at J position. Okay. So let's just be with me, you'll understand. Okay, we are going to do this swapping in place. Okay, everything is going to be in place. We are not taking any extra space. So array of ij, since ij both are pointing at the same um, location, so it is zero, it is going to be here only. Okay. Then if this is a case, then we are going to increment both I and j when we encounter zero. Okay. So here a one. Okay. Now array of j. What is array of j pointing at? It is pointing at one. So whenever array of j is pointing at one, we won't do any operation. Okay. We won't do any operation. Okay, we are just going to increment our j pointer. Okay, just be with me, you'll understand. Okay, so our j pointer is now here. I will be as is, as I said, I is the index for zero elements. Okay, I is the index for zero elements. Okay, so whenever we find array of j as one, we are just going to increment j because considering that um, it is like located at the right position one. Let's see. I think you'll understand better if we dry run this. Okay. So now again, arrow j is one, pointing to one. We won't do anything in this case. We are just going to increment j. Okay. Now arrow j, it is pointing to zero. So what we're going to do? So whenever arrow j is pointing to zero, we are going to swap with the element at I position because I is the index for zero elements only. Okay, so arrow j is pointing here, I is pointing here. So we're going to swap. So how it is going to look like? 0, okay, 1, and now we are swapping, right? These elements, right? We are swapping these two elements, right? So 1 will come here. Okay, 1 will come here. Now what we are doing is we are going to increment both ri and j, right? Now j is pointing here again. I is pointing here, j is pointing here. Okay, so I is to keep track is the index for zero elements. Okay, so whenever j comes across any zero element, so we are going to swap with the element at I. Okay, so that I has the zero elements basically, so that the array start has zero elements basically. Okay, so now again array of j is pointing one, so we are going to just increment j, right? Now our j is pointing to 2. Okay, so now what we are going to do now? We are going to swap. We are going to swap with k basically. We are going to swap with k. Okay, so 2 will come here, right? 2 will come here. Okay, yeah, one was here. 2 will come here and 1 will come here, right? We are swapping arrow of j and arrow of k, right? 2 will come here, 1 will come here. Okay, now in this case, what we are going to do? Again, k is the index for the element 2. So we are just going to decrement k. Okay, we are just going to decrement k, and we won't increment j, because j is now pointing at 1. It may be the case that why we are not we are why we won't increment j, because it may be the case that here if it had 0, right, if it had 0, right, and if j was swapped here, I mean 0 had come here, right, after swapping, so then again we would want to swap this with I element, basically. Okay, with I element. Okay, and that is why we are not incrementing j. J will be as is. So j is pointing at 1. Okay, j is pointing at 1. So when j is 1, so what we do? We don't do anything. We don't do any operation. Just increment j. Okay. So here, so 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 6 and 7. So yeah. So j arrow j is 1. Again, we won't do anything. We are just going to increment j. Okay. Now, again, J has come across 2 and K. So what we are going to do? So we are going to swap with K element at K position. So what it is going to be? So here it is 0, right? K is pointing here. So 0 will come here. Okay, so 0 will come here and 2 will come here. Okay, now post this, we are going to decrement our K, right? But we won't increment our J, because now if you see, right, at this particular position, there is 0. So that is why we are not incrementing j. Now we have come across 0. Okay. Now another thing is, yes, we have decremented k as well, right? We have decremented k as well. Okay. So now, yeah. So now here, right, it is 0. So we want to swap it with I element, right? And where is I element located? Where is I element located? It is located, it is located here. I element is located here, right? Yeah, I index is located here. So we are going to swap, right? So here 0 now will go there, right? 0 will now go there and 1 will come here at this particular position, right? 1 will come here. Now it is 1 here. So we are going to increment j again, right? We are going to increment j again. Okay. So now there's only one element left. Okay. So now again we have come across what? We have come across 0 again, right? We have come across 0 again. So we are going to swap with our I, right? And where is I pointing? I is pointing here, right? I is pointing here. So we are going to swap 0 with I. So 0 will come here and 1 will come here, right? And since now again, okay, now again we are going to increment j. So in this way, we are going to solve the problem. Okay, I hope you have got the intuition behind solving the problem. Okay, so I think let's go and code. You'll understand better. So before going to the code, I'll request you to please subscribe to the channel, like the video. Okay, I've tried to make it very easy for you. With code, you'll understand better. Okay, so we'll have three pointers, as I said: I equal to 0, j equal to 0, and k equal to add dot length minus 1. Okay, and we're going to have a pointer, like we're going to have while loop j is less than equal to k. You know that we are iterating the j, right? We are iterating through j. We are iterating the array through j. Okay, now what are we going to do? Let's take the element at jth position, right? Now we're going to check here. If element equal to 0, then what we need to do? Then we need to swap, basically swap the elements at I and j location, right? Let's pass ar I and j. Let's add a swap function. Swap int ar int x int y, right? Simple ar of x, equal to ar of y, equal to 10, right? So yeah. So once we have swapped, we'll also increment our I and j pointers, right? Then else if element equal to I, if element equal to 1, then in that case, what we're going to do? As I explained, we'll just increment j and do nothing else, right? If element is 2, then in that case, we're going to swap r, j, and k, right? And we're just going to, after swapping, we're just going to decrement k. I have also explained to you this, why we're not incrementing j. Okay. So yes, so we are done here. We are pretty much done here. Let's compile this. Okay, it's compiled successfully. Let's submit. So thanks for watching. I hope you have got the solution. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video. Okay, let's Now, yeah, we'll see the C++ code as well, but it's almost the same. No, not much difference. Okay, thanks for watching. Let's quickly see C++ code. So here, the time complexity is, again, I'm just explaining the time complexity is O of n, right? We are iterating the array only once. Okay. So yeah, so not much difference here. We're taking array of size. There it was array of length, and everything is same. Not much difference. Okay. I'll attach the code in the comment section. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video. Have a happy, healthy, wealthy, and a great day. Thank you so much.